Right, a few opening comments on the game, and then we'll take your questions, and reminder, no live streaming.
Well, first, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the fans, and the students. With Thanksgiving break starting, you always worry about the turnout, and the senior class, they were here to honor those guys, and I think that's really important. You honor a senior class that's been as talented and as beneficial for our program as they have been. I think that's huge, and our fan base really turned out to do that, and that's really special for them. I think adversity doesn't build character. I personally think adversity exposes character, and if there was an opportunity with last week's loss, it was probably to see how we respond. And I think the character of our group is clear, led by the seniors, and they accepted the new staff. They were willing not just to buy in to our new way, but they've been selling it to our younger players, which is a big part of it. And that's what it takes to be a good football team. I'm really proud of these guys to do some things that haven't been done before here. I think Sony, Nick, all those guys deserve that, and I'm proud of them. There's a lot of things we can improve on, and we've got to improve on the penalties, and we got to keep tackling better. But I'm proud of the fight, the resiliency, the attitude, and the character that was exposed.
Kirby, the resiliency you're talking about, it didn't just come to the start of the game. You guys got off to a little bit of a slow start in this one too. I mean, what was the message after that, and to kind of get those guys going and to kind of get out, get a little bit of something, some momentum after that interception?
Well, there's no message. I mean, when you play games, there's a pendulum. It goes swings, and momentum swings just like a pendulum. And if it swings over here, it eventually is going to swing back. So it's really how you handle the bad swings, the bad pendulum swings, and what you do to revert that back. And there was no magical speech. It was doing what we're supposed to do, executing. And mistakes are going to happen in football. And we had some of those, but they kept fighting, they kept chopping wood, and they played really physical.
Colonel, you had to be proud of your defense. A pretty high-scoring Kentucky team, just give up one touchdown and a couple of field goals.
Yeah, I'm proud of the score. I'm not proud of the tackling, and I've addressed that before. We got to tackle better. We got to wrap up. The guy's a good back. I mean, he breaks tackles, and the result as far as the score, that was good. And you got to play good red area defense in this league, or you will give up a lot of points.
Coach, you're speaking of the seniors, just talk about a little bit about a guy like Aaron Davis. Had a great game today. Went from walk-on to big impact player. What have you seen out of him, his work ethic over the last 2 years you've been here?
Well, he's a great leader, a great kid. He's really smart. I think he'll be CEO of some company one day because he's a business major. He's incredibly bright. He understands every position. He plays corner, star, and even played safety this week. I mean, he's talented mentally, and really proud of the play he made because he went up and high-pointed the ball, and proud that he decided to return and continue to play. And he is one of those seniors that has impacted the younger players, because we want the younger players to understand the standard that's been set by the older players, and that's got to be ingrained in how they practice and how they grow.
Coach, when Nick Chubb got bust loose for that 55-yard touchdown, he and Herschel Walker became the only Georgia backs to ever 3,000-yard season. You feel like this kid is almost underappreciated,
Yeah. I certainly feel like he's underappreciated. I don't know how you guys feel, but I appreciate what he's done in an era where rushing the ball is really hard. Like, it's gotten harder and harder, and I have no statistics to prove it, but I would venture to say that when Herschel ran for his, he ran for his in an era where there was a lot, like George Rogers, people were rushing the ball for years. It is hard in the SEC. And I'm not diminishing what Herschel did. I'm just enlightening you to the fact that Nick Chubb has rushed for 3,000-yard seasons in the SEC, which is the toughest conference in the country to run the ball. That's pretty remarkable, and did it alongside another back that is maybe just as talented as he is. So, what would he have done with 30, 40 carries a game? Who knows? But I'm sure his body appreciates it.
Talk about your offensive line. You've got a couple of young guys on the right side with Ben Cleveland and Thomas. So what did you like the way that they performed today?
Well, we had a young guys with Solomon and Andrew Thomas, right? So we got young guys over there regardless of who it is. People made a big deal out of that. And Ben Cleveland's been practicing well. Ben Cleveland competed in practice this week, worked hard. He went with the ones the last 2 weeks. Y'all didn't write about it. I mean, it's not like a big deal to us. It wasn't like we said, oh, we couldn't run the ball, we got to make a change. We just went with the guy who practiced best. Dashawn almost beat out Kendall this week. And next week, Ben might almost beat out Andrew Thomas because he backs him up. So we've got great competition at that position, and I think Solomon's going to respond the right way. He went in and played well, and they'll continue to improve.
Coach, this is the first time Georgia's beaten every single East team. What does that mean to you and to this team?
Well, it's special. I mean, it's the first time it's happened. You know, so it's a great event. I mean, it's something those guys will be remembered by. Something they can hold and say, for the rest of my life, we were the first team that did that. And say what you want about the East, they did it. And it was a great team accomplishment. It's what we motivated them with this week because the focus was on Kentucky. And the only way they could achieve what you just said was focus on the Kentucky team and do what they had to do. And I was proud of them for leading us in doing that.
You need to look back on when Lorenzo, Davin, and Sonny and they decided to come back and just what that meant for the team going forward to now.
At the time, I don't know, I kind of expected most of those guys to stay. I mean, they probably needed to. They needed to develop. They needed to get better. Needed to improve. And I think they've done that. I think more important than that, they've got something now they would have never had if they left then. Think about the taste in their mouth if they were sitting out there watching this team do this. Now, we would have struggled without some of those guys. But with those guys deciding to return, they're part of history that they would never have been. They're in a senior class that's in the 10 most winningest senior classes with a win tonight, and they got a chance to move up next week. So I think it's special. You don't ever get to have a senior year, and every guy I've ever been around in the NFL, they all say it's never the same. So you better enjoy it as long as you can, because when you play at the next level, it's not the same. There's no passion and love and energy for your team like that.
Kirby, with Miko, would you kick to him? And second of all, in the opening kickoff, how much liberty does he have, freedom does he have in terms of coming out? Is there a certain distance where it's just too deep to bring it out?
Well, I don't want to tell you that because then the other team will know. That's our little secret. A lot of that has to do with the height of the kick, hang time. If it's hanging, they're down further, that kind of thing. I think Miko's getting more and more aggressive. He's improved as a returner. But those guys up there in front of him, they're blocking people too. So everybody gives credit to the returner. I give credit to the people up there blocking because they're sacrificing some pretty vicious hits and blocks to set him up. And he's done a good job of that.
How important was the way this game went from just a confidence standpoint because of what happened over at Auburn?
I don't know. I mean, I felt like this was a game where it was going to show our attitude, our resiliency, and they did that. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, had we won, had we lost, whatever, I mean, it had anything to do with it. The two are independent of each other. I'm just proud that they came out and worked during the week and didn't pout. They know that everything they want is in front of them. And the ultimate goal for us is to get better. I mean, everybody's talking about that game. All we're talking about is getting better. How do we find one way to get better? How do we find one way to get a guy a ball to get him better? How do we find one way to tackle better? Because that's all that matters is can we block and tackle better so that we play better against Georgia Tech.
How do you feel about the physicality coach along both lines of scrimmage?
Thought it was good later in the second half than it was early. We struggled that opening drive, the second half. They pushed us around a little bit. We missed some tackles. And we've got to get better up front and tackling on defense to be a really good defensive football team. Now, I know you can look at all the statistics, you can look at all the numbers, but at the end of the day, we got to tackle them. We got to strike people, get them on the ground, and cause some turnovers. And we haven't been real productive. I thought the offensive line was physical. I mean, early Kentucky did a good job. It's not easy to run the ball in the SEC. I keep telling y'all that, but it's tough.
Coach, I know you talked about you want to see the defense get off the field more on third downs. Tonight, Kentucky was at 4-13. I mean, is that kind of the performance you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think third downs all year we've been pretty good at getting off the field. I mean, we're second or something in the SEC, and our goal is to be 70% off, and we're not there. So we're right around, last time I checked, 68, 65. So it's something that we always continue to work on. I did think that we executed well on third down tonight, and that helped us get off the field.
As you go forward this week, coaches talk about in practice how hard it is to emulate the speed of the Georgia Tech triple option in practice. What would you say about that?
Yeah, they're right. I mean, it's impossible to emulate. I mean, the only emulation is the first time you take a snap against them. You can't. Your players don't run an offense they don't run as fast as they do. There's things you can do to try to speed it up and give them a picture, and we've tried a lot of different things to try to help that throughout the year and even all season. But it's a very unique offense, And our players got another challenge in front of them where they've got to buy in to playing against that offense and understand that it's the next thing in front of us. It's the next objective. And the senior class, again, they get defined by how they perform in these type games. So they got to embrace it, love it, and go get after it.
Coach, in the first half, it seemed like there was that Jake Fromm to Von connection thing was kind of opened things up for the offense. I mean, what do you see in terms of Javon's mindset or mentality when he gets those opportunities to?
Oh, he's aggressive. He snatches the ball out of the air. He loves it. He's improved a lot as a blocker. He's always been a good wideout, and that's the part of the game he had to improve the most on. And he's really done that, which that complements, because when he blocks well, we run well. It opens him up in the passing game, and I think he's in a good place right now. He's really confident the way he snatches the ball out of the air, and he's getting open.
Kirby, you mentioned Thanksgiving week. How does that change things up for you guys with that school next week?
It changed it up a lot. I mean, we got a little more time with the players, and we've got a schedule set for them to work on academics during part of the day to get caught up and get prepared for a stretch run that's going to be tough academically, and then also to get prepared for Georgia Tech. So it doesn't change a lot for us. It changes for them in that they don't have classes. But as coaches, we'll be in the same hours, same work schedule.
This is kind of a scary moment with Cam there early on in the first plant. How relieved are you that he's going to be okay?
Very relieved. I was very concerned. It looked pretty bad, and glad he came out all right.
There were a couple of runs tonight from Nick that maybe weren't spectacular in yardage, but just before he got to the line. Is that, what's it going to be like when he's going? I know you got time left, but looking back on his career here, 2 years ago.
Well, no, I hope Swift can do it. I mean, I'll miss him greatly. I thought he had an excellent burst. I thought that long run, I thought he kicked another gear. It looked like, back in high school, it was 100 meters. He certainly looks faster to me this year when he breaks out of there and gets going. But he made the touchdown. It looked like he did that. He kind of 1-2 step, bounced, and then he hit it and he got burst. But I mean, I'll miss him when he's gone. I can promise you that. He's one of the all-time greatest here.
Last question.
Coach, with this being a rivalry week, it can get a little emotional sometimes, especially with these seniors trying to end it on a high note. How do you let them enjoy that while still working, following the usual process?
Yeah, I think it's a fine line, because when you get too emotional, you don't play well. And I think you've got to kind of taper those emotions. You've got to use them to motivate you during the week, but you got to control them at game time. A lot of our kids are from in and around the Atlanta area, so for them it's like going to play in front of their family one more time in Atlanta. And the focus and work ethic they have during the week allows them to play non-emotional football. They got to go play disciplined football when they play the option and do their job, and that'll be the challenge this week. Thanks, guys.
We're going to miss him on this beat. It's been an important part of coverage for this team.